established, but here in week 3 of Halo Infinite, it's still pretty early.
It is still extremely earlier, and that's why even it's very easy to critique some teams for not playing maybe to their full potential. You can understand, because even though some of these players have been playing an insane amount of Halo Infinite, it is going to be very minimal compared to the hours they will get in total once we are months down the line here in Halo Infinite. But to start off, it's going to be a nice double, and it is going to be a big push here from G1. Rockets are going to be in the hands of them as well, but they do fall. That's how easy it can be to pick up those rockets and lose those rockets in an instant.
Let's see what happens here if they go back for the rockets. Interestingly, when Squale died, I believe it was either Devin or it might have been Sargoth that popped up into Neons, and I don't know if either of them grabbed rockets just yet. Off of the death screen, it was very hard to tell. Sargoth might have gone back for them now. Yes, he did. He did get that, and that will lead to a double as well. That's a nice play from Sargoth. Good communication for them. Of course, it'll only mean trivial points on the board, but made sure to still make the use of those rockets.
The ball is in an area where one of the teams could potentially set up towards the tower, but as I say that, it actually rolls down Neons towards Tram, and the inevitable Tram carnage is probably going to unfold at some point as both teams are unable to shift that ball to a position where they can really, truly set up to a point where they can make the other team uncomfortable, and Predevinator is going to make sure he ensures that by throwing the ball even closer towards Tram.
I think Frosty was still sitting right on Neons. You might have caught that. Frosty was actually just sitting right here on the Bulldog spawn and was not spotted out. So he's actually able to pick up that kill on the C stairs. He's going to get some help from the back, but right after that, Sargoth and team come around to flank Neons themselves, and they'll pick up a kill and the Stalker rifle as well, just continuing to hold. It's a great nade from Sargoth, but surprisingly, he will go down. Now an opportunity to push for Sentinels.
And I don't think today on Oddball Streets I've been able to see a team set up towards tower, hold arcade, and force the other team to be consistently spawning towards Tram, towards Neons. And yes, whilst you do leave yourself vulnerable to easy flanks at times, if you are watching the angle successfully, you can get so much time holding that ball over towards back tower. But it is going to be Tram as the desired location for now. Another rocket is found in the hands of G1, but no kills on this occasion.
As we promised, getting an update here from League Operations, also letting us know that due to that player dropping out and the score of the game at the time, that will be a full restart. So we are playing a clean game here. You can trust that the scoreboard on the bottom for this round number 1 and the rest of the game will be the exact score of this game number 1 in the series. Already a little bit of an early lead for Sentinels. We'll see if they can keep it up here.
How did Lethal survive for that long? Just being a real nuisance, probably begging his teammates to come and help, but he was the only one that far over on the other side of the map. The rest of Sentinels were kind of holding this area towards Arcade, towards Tram as well, as Royal 2, one of the last remaining players, is now just going to be a nuisance and play this one, but also picking up some sneaky time first.
Oh my, whoa, what?
How?
Actually goes off of C Balk, and I think that Sargoth, Squale, simply thought that Royal 2 would be holding ball in C and waiting for the play. Instead, I love the decision from Royal 2. Instead of just playing the ball, he sits up top, leaves a little bit early, and actually gets the unsuspecting back whack, which actually leads to continued control from Sentinels. So if you are a Sentinels fan, you loving what you're seeing here in this round number 1.
This is an unorthodox hold for sure. I know that Royal 2 wanted to move this towards tower side, but he recognized that Lethal and Snakebite were both struggling being pushed from PD, and Sargoth getting a big double here will stop that ball time finally from being picked up. But hallelujah, the ball is going to be moved over towards tower. We're not going to see the madness unfold in Tram for any longer.
Things might be a little bit slower here as we do see a little bit of a back elbow hold here for just a moment, keeping an eye on Tires and B as the rest of this G1 squad now. Squale trying to figure out exactly how he might want to push in through here as well.
Certainly you saw Lethal being the first player to try and flank around from Neons towards Bulldog and then get behind a tower. And you do leave yourself vulnerable to shots across, but once you have passed that window area of Elbend, you can just about sneak around towards Cafe and maybe do some damage. But that was some serious time put on the board for G1 there.
Double kill there with Snakebite with the rockets. Might have been a triple based on what I saw in the feed there for him. He will eventually get a few more kills on the board. As we take a look across, Sentinels certainly outslaying, not only leading on the board by 20, but also outslaying as well. Frosty now at B, trying to make his way to B stairs. Bulldog is out. We'll find another one. Assist comes in as Snakebite is there to also help out. Now keeping an eye on Neons. Needs to try to stay alive here if he can, though, all the way over at Tires.
But look, even though he was low on shields, he still left himself somewhat exposed just to try and help his team. If he had been spotted out, he was dead, but he trusted that he would be able to help. His VR would do some damage, and that is the clear sign of a top player, someone who is happy to put their life on the line to help teammates. Very impressed with that. It's always a minor thing, but it definitely helps.
Certainly, and knowing exactly which angles, just as you alluded to, which angles that you can challenge from when you are weak. You take those high percentage plays that you might be able to still help out a teammate and not go down. That's exactly what he did. Helps from Tires, even though he was exposed to Cafe and bottom mid. Really nice plays there to continue their streak. And just like that, off that last hold, Gaskin, they essentially have double their opponent's score, only about 21 points away to close this out.
Ball is going to be reset, which is probably going to be good news for Sentinels because it means that they don't have to break that setup from G1, who were holding over towards PD and Tower. Instead, they're able to grab that ball off the spot. They can move it over towards Tram, and they don't need much points here. It has to be a push here and now from G1.
Sargon trying to do whatever he can. He's going to drop shield, which is just going to give him the opportunity to bleed through with that BR, and he gets the help from Neons as well. They need to win these battles, but it's too late. That will be round one, going to Sentinels as they close it out pretty quick.
And maybe G1 dropping the ball both literally and figuratively there because they didn't allow themselves to pick that one up, and Sentinels, as soon as it reset, they just rushed onto it straight away, brought it back to Tram. They know they only need a little bit of time, and if that wasn't reset, this would have been so much more difficult for Sentinels to achieve. So I think they were rubbing their hands together as soon as they saw the ball did get reset.
And is this the boost? Is this the momentum that Sentinels needed here to close out the day strong? It's a great round one on Oddball Streets, and they're opening up round two pretty strong, but just as quickly as we say that, that's two dead. Snakebite holding in the back of the elbow and needs to be careful. Maybe he's going to rotate just a little bit.
Just throws that ball out into an area where it can be seen a little bit better, and it can be naded as well off spawn by his teammates, as now he'll hold with the Bulldog, but was called out. But just by milking there, he made two players from G1 turn to look at him, and that allows Sentinels off spawn to get a couple of frags of their own.
It's a great point. Staying alive as long as he did forced two players to come all the way back to that A tower. And now it's G1 on the push again here through A courtyard. And another example, Gaskin, of the unconventional Neons hold, and it seems to be putting points on the board for Sentinels.
I think just holding around like Cafe and Neons, if you're working together as a unit, you can pick up some scrappy time. It's probably not going to be, 100 seconds completed. You're going to have to move to either Tram or Tower after you've managed to slay, but certainly you can put some serious time to make it really awkward for your opponent, force them to have to push into an awkward area to actually try and take you out.
So far this series, it's really been an indication from Sentinels that they're looking to silence the critics. We had a lot of time in the beginning to wonder, what is this Sentinels team capable of right now in Halo Infinite? And Royal 2 with some nice kills around here on Tires and B Stairs, also watching B Pillars. And already at the 50-point mark, it's 54-0, by the way, and they have started to really answer that. Maybe silence the critics and say, this is our series, this is our round, and we are looking far beyond this winner's bracket, elimination bracket round 12.
I don't think that Sentinels could afford or can afford in this series to slip up and be taken down by the likes of G1. I think if they want to still be feared by the rest of the community, still manages to do something there lethal. If they want to be feared by the rest of the community, they have to put results on the board. They have to make sure that everyone still does not want to play them. United have got their number a little bit, and every time they play against Sentinels now, they'll be feeling confident, but Sentinels won't want the rest of the community to be feeling the same.
One more rocket left for Frosty. It's a very strong grab for Sentinels. Maybe he'll even grab multiple here on Neons as he's ready to wreak some havoc. Picks up one. Yes, indeed. It's a 2-for-1 double kill rocket from Frosty, extending their lead to 71-4.
Saw a triple kill rocket in EU earlier today, and I'm waiting for NA to top it. I'm waiting for someone to get an overkill with one rocket. It's going to happen at some point. I'm telling you, on broadcast, at some point during the roadmap of HCS, we're going to see a single rocket overkill. You heard it here first. But for Sentinels, they're at 85 points up to 4. They are closing in here on winning map number 1.
And now they've also rotated as well. Just like you said, 10 minutes to go for them. They will fall in Tires and B Stairs, but if that ball continues to rotate through Tram and maybe even go in front door, this one could be over before that kill even comes in. They'll be stopped at the 99 mark, but you got to think just a matter of time here. Another kill for Frosty up top. If he had any more ammo, he would have gotten that kill. Has to switch to the Bulldog. Lethal's going to end it, though. That will be it. 2-0. Game number 1. Sentinels with a convincing victory.
And that just sums up Sentinels in that final play.
Once again, going to be game 2 Slayer on Recharge between these two teams, Sentinel versus G1, and we're jumping in right away here off the rip with Frosty.
terms of starting strategy, it seems like both teams contesting to try and get control here, and instead of pushing straight for the camo and leaving yourself very vulnerable to grenades, it's going to be G1 who get the initial camo, which could make a big difference to get some early frags here.
Let's see, whoop, misses that melee there, but recovers, does Devin, and gonna be very happy to stay alive and control as long as he can, but very, very back and forth between these two, which is what you'd expect. 5-4 off of the opening moments here in our game number 2 to make that 6-4. Sentinels with an early lead.
3 kills for Snakebite off the rip. Has died once. And actually, everyone on Sentinels has already died here, so plenty of frags to be shared out for both teams, but you can already see it slow down ever so slightly. But as I say that, G1 look to try and make a quick push to control, which is successful. Again, this is, I'd say, the most structured Slayer that we've got here in Halo Infinite, and that's why it can slow down, similar to what Lockout used to do way back when. You can kind of have one team holding the elevator side, one team holding the top yellow side, and both teams are reluctant to push until a camo comes up, until a sword is in play, until a mangler is sometimes in play as well. But it's whether the teams allow it to get to that point, because right now Sentinels have a 6-kill lead. They might want to just play this one nice and fast.
And a lot of that is Royal 2, because guess what? He got 6 kills on the board. Royal 2 is the difference right now. You saw him pick up 2 big kills in elevator, comes to control to watch top yellow, picks up another kill in control. So if Royal 2 keeps this up, it's going to be a very short story, a very short evening for G1. Devin trying to do whatever he can, but he's no match for Snakebite on that push. Has some help as well. We'll see if Frosty can clean up here.
Oh, Squall actually managing to take down 2 there. I was about to say what an impressive bait and switch it was from Snakebite and Frosty, but Squall just ensuring that with the shock rifle in his back pocket, he didn't give that one up too easily. Got 2 big frags, and they do still stay within touching distance here, G1. I think that's what's important for them to do, not allow Sentinels to get out of control and get a, I don't know, 10 to 15 kill lead, which is sometimes going to be near impossible to actually make a comeback. As long as it's a 4-5 kill game, there is still always a chance. One little push, one sword play, one mangler play could actually get you back into the game.
Couldn't agree more, and just as quickly as you say that, it does become a 6-kill game and also a camo in the hands of Snakebite. They will be up 19-13, make that 20, and now on the prowl. Not shooting, very disciplined trigger finger there, thinking about helping over at C-Plat. He's going to make his push, does have a little bit of help from Lethal.
There's one thing that Sentinels I always gave them credit for was their ability to push as a 2 and to always have help, have someone who's there to support. As the movement from Snakebite's insane, it only rewards him with an assist, but just the surprise factor there. I'm sure that gunshot was just taken aback by a flying Snakebite, very much battering him in the face.
That's the last thing you want to see, is a player like Snakebite flying into the back of your base with a mangler, nonetheless, and that just tells you a little bit about the routes that are possible within this game. We've actually seen it ending team slayers like that. You can now fly into an opponent's base in ways that you never could before to pick up those kills. You have to be ready for those swings at any time. As we say that, Sentinels will extend their lead to 8, 25-17.
Well, would we have seen Snakebite do that against E United? I don't think we would have. I don't think that Snakebite or the rest of the Sentinel squad were playing with that confidence. But this is why games like this are good for Sentinels, to give them that belief again, to give them that confidence once more. Because I want to see them doing that against E United. I want to see Sentinels trying to assert their dominance and showing why they were, you know, an absolute powerhouse in Halo's history and still are a powerhouse in Halo history.
G1 slowly bringing this game back, just like that 21-27 now, make that 22-28. Still a 6-kill game. They start to bring the game back within reachable distance. We'll see if they can hold on to that, though, as Lethal able to get a few lunges there in tower. Finally will be taken down. It's a perfect killing spree from Devin across the map with the no-scope shot rifle kill, and now going to try to help at Old Grapple as well. Still keeping an eye all over the map, wondering what he might be able to do with this power.
I spoke earlier saying it was a really important game for Sentinels to try and secure their place in, you know, the top 8 teams to get that pool play position at Rally. Well, the same could be said for G1. Their 11th seed coming into this, a victory and a top 8 would really give them the opportunity to try and break into those pool play positions, if not at least the funding for the 2 open spots that's available for NA for the 9th and 10th position. But certainly right now, 6 kills behind, and Royal 2 with camouflage and a sword, things are not looking too fantastic.
They pick up another kill, and guess what? It's Devin who is wondering where the camo is. He's going to find out right now, and he's going to find out a little late, and the way that he probably didn't want to find out. He was checking all of back A. Royal 2 already had other plans with the sword and the camo. Goes from all the way from C over to control and extends this lead now by quite a margin, up by 9, 35-26. And after shots like that, make it 36-26, a 10-kill lead.
Yeah, 10 kills. I was saying that G1 just had to keep this within 5, but they're slowly letting it slip through their fingers now, and it's just going to go from bad to worse if Royal 2 is allowed to roam control so easily and be pushed over and over one by one by these G1 players. They need to, if they're going to push the sword, if they're going to try and push Royal 2 here, it's got to be together.
It does, and we've seen them find success with that a few times. If you think back to when Lethal was holding top control, here's probably another sword kill for Royal 2. Yes, it does come in. Royal 2 going to pop back up to control. We've seen success a few times from G1, sending multiple players in to clear out a base. However, it requires so much coordination, and the pressure from Sentinels has just been too strong.
Yeah, Sentinels are playing with so much more confidence now, and with 9 kills remaining, it would need a big slip up, but G1, they have to try and do what they can because it is elimination time for them. We are in the elimination bracket, so their tournament will be over if they lose this Slayer game. But Predominator falls to Lethal, just utilizing the map to his best ability. And with Camo coming up as well, Sentinels are in the perfect spot to grab the next one.
Yeah, Devin there getting remote detonated just a bit, and Lethal easily cleans up. That also paves the way for him to get this camo, and now going to look to wreak even more havoc, just going to choose his victim accordingly, and right now just has the cream of the crop, and look at this, does not shoot, instead just scurries away. He's going to just ring around the rosy here, back in control, and wait till he has the perfect opportunity to push.
Well, he knew he was vulnerable, but instead actually stays alive, guarantees another kill, guarantees 2 more kills with the killing spree. Sentinels 3 away from taking this. Frosty also trying to put on a show with the shock rifle, and now it's down to just 1.
Could be the last one here on your screen. 49-35. Snakebite looks for it. He wants it. He gets it. That will be it. Sentinels win the game 50-35, and they'll close out the series very convincingly with a score of 2-0.
So Sentinels do move on to top 8. However, it is a top 12 finish for their opposition, which will be a little bit disappointing. I'm sure they would have loved to push further to try and compete.